Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we are back with another video. Now, today is the 24th day of Sean Diddy Combs' racketeering and sex trafficking trial in New York City. Now, on the stand today is a paralegal specialist who has testified about the evidence that was presented. So, this person is a seasoned paralegal who has worked on many of these cases over the years. And this individual, she was brought on the case because of her years of expertise examining evidence and details on cases such as these. So she, taken the stand today. Her name is Ananya Sankar. So she was asked about the 2019 message from Christina Karam, who is Diddy's former chief of staff, in response to Ryan Lopez's testimony. Ryan Lopez is a former Diddy assistant who texts Christina Karam about spotting the male escort, and he referred to this male escort as the cowboy. So in the text message, he basically told Christina Karam that, the cowboy was still in the lobby. And then Christina Karam laughed with 4 laughing emojis, and she basically, detailed how long so basically, Christina Karam was like, so after she gave the 4 laughing emojis in the text message, she was then like, how long is he going to stay awake? Because, these were male entertainers, and this staffer is like, after that many hours of freak off. Can you believe that cowboy is still here in the lobby, KK? And Christina Karam found it funny, like, laughing emoji. How long is this guy gonna stay awake? So it basically shows you that these people, really, took some kind of pleasure with these things. Now, also, during court this morning, the prosecution played an audio file. They say that it was recorded on January 30th of 2023. So the paralegal specialist was asked to read a transcript back and forth of a conversation between Christina Karam and another former assistant. There are many former assistants. This former assistant's name is Dave Shirley. Now, this transcript is about a trip to a Four Seasons hotel location. Now, in this transcript, KK writes, which is Christina Karam, heads up, he's about to do Wild King tonight. So Christina is saying, you've got work. You've got to stock the hotel room. You've got to pick up some money. You need to, re-up on baby oil and all of that. So the assistant understand the job, and he was like, okay, KK, so I need to pick up some money and I need to up on baby oil. Now, Christina Karam, in one of the messages, asked them if they could bring up to 15 bath towels. No, there were a lot of messages. Some included information about preparation for flight for Jane Doe. And as you guys know, Jane Doe was the final witness who took the stand for last week, okay? For last week. Jane Doe is the pseudonym. And Jane Doe gave us the details of how she would, take substance. Christina Karam would tell her to put it in her suitcase. It's fine. And Diddy would have her smashing 2 guys at once. And after she was done smashing the 2 guys, she was like, sick, disgusted. She threw up and Diddy was like, good, you're ready for the third. So those are some of the things that came out, Also, there was another text message between Christina Karam, Diddy, and Jane that reads, your damage charges on the one hotel are always high. They're also saying that more exchanges in the text messages shows further travel arrangements for Jane and more references to pick up cash. So what this is proving is that sex trafficking was definitely involved and prostitution, because you were making travel arrangements. Money was discussed. Tolls were discussed. Upping on baby oil was also discussed. The traveling of substance across state lines to use for these, king nights, that was discussed. So they've clearly established, sex trafficking and human trafficking. Now, other Diddy assistants, they have also testified about setting up hotel rooms, as you guys know, and it's generally the same. Baby oil, candles, and these witnesses, Jane Doe, Cassie Ventura, they all testified that oftentimes these were marathon drug fuel sessions involving Diddy, his girlfriend, and male entertainers. The prosecutions have also established that this did in fact happen. Now, in May, a hotel manager testified about booking a profile system, which is used to track clients, which notes Diddy's room often needs extra cleaning, noting spilled candle wax and, excessive amount of oils, body fluids, and all of that. Remember, Cassie told us that even during her cycle, she was still forced to do these things. Now, text message shown to the juror this morning included a December 2023 exchange. Jane texted Karam and told her Diddy threatened. So he basically did the same thing to Christina Karam, what he did to Cassie. And Inspire said, Jane Doe's experience with Diddy mirrored the same behavior as Cassie Ventura minus the abuse. Someone was saying it's different. It's not different. It mirrors it point by point, and when I say mirror, it means that the same things that were happening to Cassie at these hotel nights, freak-offs, king night, it was happening to Jane Doe. And here's another prime example. Diddy threatening to release tapes of Jane Doe. He said that he would expose, so Jane Doe says to Christina Karam, he said that he would expose me and send them to my child's father. And as you guys can remember, Diddy had basically extorted Cassie Ventura's parents, telling them that, he needs to get, was it $30K? Because he needs to get back some of the money that he spent on Cassie. If he doesn't get it back, he's going to release the tape. And they went in and they took out a loan against their home, and they gave Diddy the money in order to conceal the tape. After they sent Diddy the money, Diddy sent them back the money. So they're proving prostitution through coercion, not willingness. There's no willingness, and that is what they are establishing, because he did the same to Cassie, and he's doing it to Jane Doe. And that's why I said that the moment that Jane Doe realized Cassie filed that lawsuit, She should have moved in and filed herself a lawsuit too, but she allowed Diddy to go back and coerce her into, I love you, you're my girl, I'm here for you, when this was the same man who was threatening to release a tape. But for some reason, us women are so caring, nurturing, and so given that she completely forgot that this was a man who was threatening to release those tapes. Now, as I've said, Sankar, she's a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. The prosecution asked her why she worked on this particular case, and she says she was asked to verify the accuracy of hundreds of pages of evidence. Before the juror was seated Monday morning, Judge Arun Subramania ordered the dismissal of juror number 6. So he's stern on that. He's not changing his mind on that. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team then filed a vigorous motion last night saying that, juror number 6 is, one of 2 black jurors on the case, and taking him off is going to prove that there's prejudice towards Diddy. Diddy's not going to get a fair trial, and they've used a case from 1989 as an example, and they're saying that case, actually proved that when things like these happens, the person on trial, because he's a black man, there will always be prejudice against him. And because there's no prejudice against him, they're sure Diddy is not gonna get a fair trial. But now, Judge Arun Subramania is stern in the decision, irrespective of the discrepancies that Diddy's legal team had argued. The juror was replaced by an alternate, reportedly a 57-year-old Westchester County resident who is apparently married with 2 kids. So Judge Arun Subramania is stern on his decision for juror number 6 to not come back on this case. So once again, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team, they're not going to get a mistrial because they're saying if they cannot return juror number 6, the case should end in a mistrial. But it's not going to happen. And here I believe we can see that it's truly not going to happen. But anywho, guys, this is just my 2 cents on the matter. Let me know what's your take. Do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.